The wildest thing that has ever happened in my agency. Wow. I think it was back in like 2014. Back then, I had like 3 staff. I'd been in business for a few years, and spent all my money on direct mail, stuff like that. And so around that time, I started to not ever answer the phone. I let my staff do it, but I kind of had this rule. I was like, 3 rings, and I'm gonna be really upset. But I noticed it ringing, and normally I would just get onto them and let it go to voicemail and get onto the staff later. But this time I was like, you know what? I'm sitting around, I'm doing nothing. I might as well answer the phone, see if I can take care of somebody. I pick up the phone, and then it was one of our insureds, so like a current customer. And she was just calling saying, hey, is Trish available? I was like, no. All right. Well, and to kind of restart, I answered the phone. I didn't say who I was. I just said, hey, thanks for calling my carrier. And how can I help you? And she was like, well, is Trish there? I was like, no, she's on the other line. Is Christy there? No, I want to say she's off at lunch right now. And then she asked for another person. I can't remember. And then finally I said, well, I'm Sheppard. I'm the owner here. I can help you out. And she said, no, you'll just fuck it up, and hung up. And that was the wildest thing that happened. And my name is Sheppard, and I'm in Cartersville, Georgia, and I'm an insurance dude.
Insurance dudes are on a mission to escape being handcuffed by our agencies.
How? By uncovering the secrets to creating a predictable, consistent, and profitable agency sales machine.
I am Craig Pretzinger.
I am Jason Feldman.
We are agents.
We are insurance dudes.
Right now, while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
We took our notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies led Craig and I to selling more than $10 million in premium in the last 2 years.
On this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the same results.
Just go to live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
If you jump on this call with us, we're certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. I love that.
How did you react when they told you that was what you would do?
Well, that was the light bulb moment for me. It was like, okay, I did it. Like, I wasn't a huge agency yet, but I at least had that part down. When current customers realized I was the most useless person in the office.
It's the best. There's nothing more liberating.
Yeah. And so that was, kind of the moment I really moved from being an insurance agent to a business owner in my mind.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I remember going to a conference in Texas, and the guy that would run it would say, he was older at that time, and so it was a while back because now I'm old, but he'd always allude and talk about like, I don't even know how to log into the computer, and I thought, he's just joking, like that's not possible. Thinking of all the stuff that I was doing, like being on the hamster wheel, and it's nice to be on the other side of that.
Yeah,
it is. Sheppard and I were talking about that before you jumped on. It's like that moment is the most liberating moment when you realize like there's other people better than you, like at the things, at all the things. It's like, oh, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. In the beginning, you kind of want to be the best. Like it's this ego thing. You want to be the best at everything. And then you realize that makes you the worst when you're the best at everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited about this one. So Sheppard, for all the dudes out there, dudettes, tell us how you got into this crazy business of insurance.
Yeah, so kind of just tripped and fell into it, like probably most insurance agents. Because no one grows up saying, hey, I want to be an insurance agent when I grow up.
Yep.
So I was living in Georgia, or kind of backstory on me, 17, joined the Army, traveled the world, had a lot of fun, got to blow some stuff up, came home, got married, got out of the Army, and my wife and I had some money saved up. So we were like, hey, let's go be ski bums. So we moved from our home state in Georgia. Like a week later, the U-Haul was packed and we moved out to Colorado and tried to be ski bums. That didn't last very long because we ran out of money. Military does not pay that well. And needless to say, I was doing several odds and ends kind of jobs, doing this, doing that, trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And, I started a business out of the insurance industry, completely failed. And, but in the course of that business, I bumped into an insurance agent with my carrier. And he kind of started pitching me on, hey, come work for me. It's an amazing opportunity. I kind of got the hint, like he was brand new. And one thing, when I got out of the Army, I was like, I'll never work for other people ever again. So I did some researched that carrier only, which, who knows if that was a smart decision. But researched the carrier. I then got in touch with like a, district recruiter. And he kind of did the whole spiel, the pitch of, hey, here's what you could be making in 5 years and all that jazz. And so I was like, I talked to my wife about it. She was like, I think you should do it. And I said, are you sure? Because I don't really want to do that. But she said, you can do it. I was like, okay. So, go. Got all my licenses. Back then, they had a program where, you could start as an agency owner from scratch. And so got approved for that and just kind of hit the ground running from there. Did it out in Colorado for a couple of years. And mediocre, very low performing agent at that point in time. Needless to say, I sold that book back to the carrier and moved back home to Georgia. And one of the cool claims to like our folklore is I was the very first captive agent representing my carrier in our state in history in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Neat.
No way.
Yeah, I'm part of the, history of the company, I guess. So the first one to open their doors in our state, which is pretty neat. But
That is
how I
super
got
cool.
into insurance.
Well, wow. So a lot of stuff happened in that time. When did it take? Like, what was the earliest fire that kind of was lit under you and you're like, this is it. I love it.
Yeah. It was definitely when I started making pretty decent money, or at least gross income was doing really nice. When I was out in Colorado, I was a mediocre agent doing all the wrong things and, I was making enough to get by. But when I came into Georgia, I was like, okay, come in smart, spend money marketing, do all that kind of stuff. So, I started seeing the fruits of that pretty quickly. And thankfully I had the foresight to reinvest every single penny I was making back into the agency to keep that growth going. And so, I would say probably a couple of years, like maybe 2 years in to my, tenure in Georgia as an agent, that's when everything was on fire. I was like leading our entire state in, total new sales, just one of the top of the, state for a couple of years in a row. And so that was nice,
Yeah.
and, and then I just kind of plateaued and hung out for a while until I, decided, hey, let's grow some more.
Right. About 4 years to really have it take and kind of figure it out.
I would say, yeah, because, the carriers don't teach you anything really on how to build it. And so, you do a lot of trial and error. And if you don't, then that's where most agents, struggle is they don't take the risk of, let's see if this works. And if it does, great. If not, we just lost a bunch of money, but let's keep trying.
Right.
Yeah, the carriers don't tell you about the business hat. They only tell you about the agent hat. And it's crazy because, of course, the motivation of the carriers is to, constantly reach out to the clients and everything for the clients, which is awesome. But at some point, you have to justify those costs with sales and like growth and everything else. So it's not, you want to do everything right that the carrier wants, but you can't invest all of your time and your staff's time in on those things because that's going to kill your business.
Oh, yeah.
It is interesting. They sell the concept of being the business owner and you go with that and you think, and we're going to give you the support. And then we're going to support you as the agent. And it is what it is. I think everybody goes through that journey and learns from it. And the ones that make it through it are better for it. usually.
Right. Well, so Sheppard, you grew up. I keep wanting to call you Shep.
Call me shit. Bother me.
You're gonna make me start calling you Shep too.
So you kind of hit the ground running, but then you really started scaling up. I know that your numbers now are just incredible. So describe your team, like currently, how many members, what did they do? What are their roles, and how's that set up currently?
Well, so beginning of this year is when I kind of changed the model. And what I did was I really went and separated that true outbound agent team and inbound agent team. And, I took that off some other agent. I can't remember, the idea, but it's where, you want to work the lead game, stuff like that. Those people don't need to be answering the phones that are service calls. And I had made that mistake in the past where, I just kind of had the hybrid sales/service, and they tried to work leads, and it never worked out that way. And so, right now I have 3, basically inbound, service agents. They're responsible for cross-selling, upselling, and just overall handling, everybody, all our customers, whether they're brand new or, 8 years in. And then the outbound team is just, they work directly on our leads that, we purchase, work with the TMs, and really master just closing new business and bringing new accounts in. And right now there's 3 on that team with 2 more that are starting next week, which is really nice. And we're trying to rapidly grow over the course of 2022 and 2023.
How many people on the sales team?
There's going to be 5 total starting Monday. So
cool. Cool. Awesome. And we'll dive in. I'm so curious of their numbers and everything. I know you're a high performance dude. So yeah.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the culture that you've created there and how that's been an integral part of doing what you do and getting the results that you're getting?
Yeah. So the culture really definitely for me started when I was recruiting people. I was like, okay, my recruiting strategies over the years never really given me good results. And so it all kind of started with setting a standard, which I know I used to fail at, setting that up front. And I really do a hardcore time now trying to paint them a very, 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 very detailed picture before they're even hired. That, hey, we're focused on, continuous learning, continuous growth, and just really hardworking, hard playing, office setting. But, some of our producers, they're fully remote and started with me fully remote from day one. And, so we kind of have that mixture of in-office and remote. And I haven't found any problems with it. It's been really good. I like it a lot myself just because it's so much easier to sit in front of a computer and talk to everybody, share the screens, because anytime we got to troubleshoot something, it's so easy to do it over, via Zoom or whatever. And, that's kind of been the environment that we focus on. And then just myself trying to lead as like a servant leader, really trying to coach them as best as possible. I mean, I have the attention span of a goldfish, so it's really hard for me to continuously day in, day out coach them. But I am for now. And, it's funny. Someone once told me that workers that feel appreciated are always the most grateful and are always the hardest working.
Yeah.
And, so far that's, since I kind of changed my model and started focusing on that, I really see a major difference in just the quality of people. And it's not like these people are any better than the people before them. It's just that they have that, true support structure that I'm trying to provide. And that's my main focus day in, day out is just them and making sure they succeed. Because if they do, I'll succeed or go bankrupt due to not being profitable. One or the other.
Yep.
But more than likely, success will breed more success. And that's what we really try and focus on.
When did that shift happen?
Gradually, then all of a sudden, is really the best way to say. I mean, it's happened over the years in my mind and realizing it. And then when I, listen to podcasts or talk to other agents that are successful, you really start to pick up on the ideas, and then you go to the drawing board and say, okay, look, where do I want to be, and work it all out from there, whether it's talk pass scripts, marketing spend, how many employees you need, yada, yada, yada. It all just kind of like, you got to take all that information, bring it into one room and put it all together like a puzzle. And so that's why gradually over the past probably 2-3 years, but instantly back in January when I really said, all right, let's pull the trigger and execute everything 100%.
Love it. And then how do you recruit for that now?
So, a variety of things. I mean, it's just like the lead game, you want multiple marketing sources. So recruiting is the exact same pathway. No matter who comes to you, though, they all have to have that system and process where your hiring portion is the exact same. So from first interview, second interview, things like that. I've used a variety of recruiting companies, corporately. I work with our corporate recruiters that are trying to recruit agency owners, but, they send me lots of quality people that may not, possess the startup capital to go, scratch agency by themselves, or they just want to work with an existing agency that's been around for a while that can teach them. And so I kind of work, in those lines, and then, sure, traditional job postings, spending on those, anything really just to gather people's attention. And then, headhunting yourself, reaching out to, other agents' staff, letting them know, hey, here's our opportunity. You may be a better fit here, and give them something to think about. And if they are, then they'll apply, and you may have success with them. You may not. I don't necessarily put any major priority of someone with experience over someone without, but they definitely don't have, their learning curve is shorter though. The only thing you have to worry about is, if they bring a bad attitude or bad habits, which you can usually filter that out, or at least I've been successful in filtering that out in the hiring process.
Yeah. What about once they're on and then ensuring that they're successful? What sort of framework do you have for that?
So that's like a fluid document. Definitely. That's always changing, trying to, be better and improve on that. We really try and hit hardcore with, a week or two of product training, system training, how to talk training. No matter if someone just came to me with 15 years of selling insurance, we still want them on the same standard as everybody else. And so we really just kind of put that framework in, and then the continuous daily training, 15, 20-minute morning huddles every single day, whether we want to talk about a specific product, talk about objection handling, or just overall, hey, who had wins, who didn't. That's proven to just really be worthwhile for us to spend that time with you.
Hey, what are you still doing here?
Well, while you're still here and while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
Yeah, if you weren't listening before, we took notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies did help Craig and I write over $10 million in premium in the last couple years.
And let me tell you, on this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the very same results.
Again, that's live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
And if you jump on with us, we are certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.